My first time like this way, but
Yeah,
let's
that'd
see.
be fun.
Yeah, just having conversation. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's see what can I.
Good evening, friends. I'm Dr. Aajay Shah, and we are bringing this another great evening live. We've been doing this thing on a regular basis for last about 4 months. We have had some great guests, and we are trying to educate you, motivate you, and grow together, learn together, and be happy and healthy together. Just to give you some quick update on our page before I introduce our guest, we have now 70,000 followers. We are growing rapidly. We have followers all around the world. And my goal is to not just help Americans, but help the people over the world, because many of the chronic disease which happens because of unhealthy lifestyle, some of the countries obviously cannot afford it like what Americans can afford it. So our job is to not just get healthy as American, but lead the world in terms of getting healthier too. We are also on YouTube. We've also been posting some healthy cooking recipes with my wife. So thanks to my wife, Jay Shri. We are also on Instagram. So please reach out to our Instagram account also. So again, this brings a great joy to bring our guest today, Dr. Mayank Bhardwaj, who is just not a doctor, but he actually teaches a great healthy lifestyle to many, many thousands of people, but he practices himself a great healthy lifestyle. He obviously is very fit, very energetic, who has helped thousands of people to get great results. Most doctors, in my opinion, are not good coach, but Dr. Bhardwaj is not just a good doctor, but is a great coach also. And we need a doctor who is a good coach, because a lot of the healthy lifestyle changes happens because of good coaching. It's easy to prescribe a medicine. It's easy to do a procedure than change somebody's mind and heart to practice a healthy lifestyle. So today we are definitely excited to have Dr. Bhardwaj to teach us how he motivates people, motivates his followers to be healthy and happy. So welcome, Dr. Bhardwaj.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Shah. That was a wonderful introduction. Really
Oh,
loved it.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Uh,
So let's
yeah.
start with simple thing. Where do you live and what type of medical practice setup do you have?
So I live in Orlando, in Florida, and what I do is kind of unique because I actually founded called Living Healthy Habits. And it's a platform where I help professionals and especially health professionals, those who are burned out, and these 5 areas I call 5 areas of life, like relationship, money, career, health, and spirituality. So I really focus on that and help people um, to overcome the whatever they feel stuck, so they can become the person they always wanted to be. A lot of professionals, what I learned over a period of time working with them, it's the burnout. you know so, and when they burn out, for me it was in the beginning, it was like why they burn out. And I found that very interesting. The element is somehow they feel very lonely. I don't know why, but over a period of time I understood that they're always listening everybody's pain and their frustration and their problems, and always listening. But somehow, when it's, I guess, their time, there's no one to really listen to them. So, but that's what I do.
Wow, that's a great cause, and I think helping professional burnout is very, very common. We all go through that, and I think we all need a coach so we can recover. Otherwise, I think physician and professional depression, physician professional suicide. I mean, all those things are real major concern in society. So, tell us who's in your family, and what do you do with the family on day-to-day basis?
Well, I have a wife and a daughter. Day-to-day basis, like I have a block schedule. So few days I work, few days I do my work on my business, and I don't work with any clients, which I don't call patients, I call clients. So I have a Monday and Tuesday are the major, and Thursday, the 3 days I work, and the rest day I pretty much do however I want to do things and to run my business basically.
Yeah, I've seen you spending time with your wife, with your daughter in such a detail and such a fun way. I mean, you are truly a family person. So I think that's very commendable, being a professional, being a doctor, to spend this much time with the family. So tell us, where did you grow up and who influenced you in your childhood?
Oh wow, I grew up in India actually. I moved here when I was 17, but in India, I'll tell you a little. Um, I never wanted to be a health professional or anything like that. I really wanted to do acting. I wanted to be, go to like Bollywood, just like we have here in Hollywood. And but a lot of my friends, they were all doing computer science engineering. So I ended up going to the program called BIT, Bachelor of Information Technology. So I finished about a year and a half before I moved here. So but that's all. But there's my grandfather was an Ayurvedic physician. My father is an Ayurvedic physician. Even though they were physician, but I never wanted to be anything. I never wanted to do any health or anything like that. So what really influenced me is my own health, because I actually struggle with my own health, a lot of problems going through. And the biggest turning point for me when I had a severe migraine headache, which I was getting, but I wasn't getting that often. But certainly I was getting like more often migraine attacks, and I asked my father, like, what can I do? So you know what, he gave it to me, the typical remedy what he was doing every time. So he gave me a big piece of cloth, and he said, like, tie up around your head and make a good knot, and uh, and take a suminate or a Veso green in India. Take this tablets, and that's it. And that was my father, like, like a remedy for his migraine. So I said, like, I cannot live that life. So at that moment, I really evaluated what I was doing, and how can I improve. And that was my one of the biggest tipping point, I guess, what
Yeah,
influenced me
yeah,
to look into more what's health is.
yeah.
you know.
No, that's nice. So in terms of the college and graduate school, where did you go to college and graduate school?
So college, I went to Michigan State University. I studied advanced nutrition there, and along with the research, that's another story, because why I end up doing nutrition. It was funny that when I moved here, a lot of people influenced me to do pre-med, go to health side. So I thought pre-med is the major. So and I was just taking the pre-med classes, and one day the advisor called me, and he said, like, well, you have to pick a major. I said, like, I'm already in a major. I'm doing pre-med, you know. So he said, like, no, pre-med is not a major. You have to pick something. And I said, like, okay, what are my options are? He said, like, well, you have the big options. He gave me a big list of and I said, like, okay, that's a lot of, so I don't know what to do. And I decided what I did. Actually, I went to my friends and I started asking what majors they're doing. Some of they're doing like bio major, this major, that major, psychology major, biochemistry or whatever it is. They were doing a lot of different things. And my major question for them was, why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing this major? So everybody said to me is like, oh, I'm doing because I want a good grades, number one. Second thing, they said, like, oh, I'm doing because it will help me in my medical school, second. And third is like, you know what, I don't know, I just following everybody. So I don't want to do the same thing. And I start looking into, it is like at the time when I was coming out of my migraine phase. So I said, like, let me see what can I do. And I end up seeing that nutrition, it's called nutrition major. And it was also part of the pre-med. So pre-med along with nutrition, but I had to do extra 1 year of research. So that was like, took me a little longer to finish my undergraduate. So that's what I did, study advanced nutrition and learn it by, because I felt like, everybody going to learn the anatomy and physiology and biology anyway if I go to medical school. And so why not I study about the food what I eat every daily basis, right?
No, I think that's an excellent choice you made, because as a physician, we get only about 5 to 10 hours of education and nutrition. As a cardiologist, when I did my cardiology fellowship, the nutrition education literally was zero. We learned tons about writing cholesterol medications and beta blockers for blood pressure and other medications for heart failure, but we did not have any education for nutrition. And as I learned more about healthy lifestyle, I actually have realized that nutrition is the foundation for all the physicians. Doesn't matter what specialty they are in. So you are actually ahead of time compared to many of us who actually got on this nutrition bandwagon much, much later. So I commend you for that. I don't think many people have the broad foundation and base for nutrition what you have. And partly that's the reason a lot of your clients and the followers actually get tremendous results because you know so much details about nutrition, not just in terms of the food we eat, but also the effects on the body, how to prepare it. And I've seen you preparing a lot of smoothies, a lot of other dishes. So I think those things are very important. So let's start with
Yeah.
that pillar itself. What do you
Yeah.
think is wrong with American diet? And what kind of food ideally we should be eating if you want to live healthy and long?
Well, what's wrong with American diet? I think it's some say it's called sad diet, but so this is my take, okay. But I just want to finish. You asked me like my whole education. Well, I did after post graduation as well in Doctor of Chiropractic. So I just want to finish that why I call doctor. But um, but the nutrition perspective, what you just asked me. See, when I was in the college, right? One of my teacher, what she did, like she post like a McDonald's one burger, and then other side she put some fruits and vegetables. And she said like, so which is a good food and which is a bad food. So I could tell that you could already say, what do you think for people are picked? The fruits and vegetables, right?
Right,
Everybody
right.
said, oh, that's a good food, that's a good food, right? So then she gave a scenario. She said, like, let's imagine that someone who's like in the woods about like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, he got lost. And then he comes out from that. Somehow he survived. And if you see, if somebody gives him a burger, right? You think it's a bad food or good food at that time? That opened my eye. That time what she was saying, basically, there is no such thing good or bad. It's how you eat that's important, and when you eat that's important. Most of us, we are so inclined to know what to eat, what not to eat, what is good, what is bad. There is no such thing good or bad. It's a situation tells you what applies and what doesn't apply. So that's how I evaluate my eating habits, or I help other people to like how to evaluate their eating habits by giving them more options rather than restricting themselves and saying this is bad, this is good. I hope that helped you answer.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think in general, I agree that I think in general, the options, more options we have, better success we will have in terms of what kind of food we'll be eating. But I think, like you said, SAD diet, SAD, standard American
Yeah.
diet, is definitely truly a sad diet because we eat about 65% processed food, 25% animal products, and what 10% plant-based food is mostly French fries, ketchup, and Oreo. So I think only 2% of our calories come from actually whole food plant-based. So what is your
That is
opinion?
true. That is true.
What is your opinion on this whole food plant-based diet and avoiding animal products?
I think that's how it should be. I mean, that's how I grew up actually in India, eating more whole food, wholesome food. But when it comes to processed food, I feel that the whole worldwide people are consuming more processed food. I think because people are somehow people have mentally they have convinced themselves that they don't have time. Um, they have convinced them like they don't have time and they need something to eat on the go, or they have to cook quickly. They don't want to, like, everybody wants a beautiful kitchen but nobody want to step in you know so it's just interesting that but whole food of course, whole food means whole food. Plant-based diet is always the best diet. Again, it's not that the animal, if you eat animal food, it's really, really bad. Again, but the more you eat more fruits and vegetables in your diet, it's always going to do a better job than just eating more animal products, animal food, or anything like that. So American Standard Diet is mostly processed food, than I would say anything whole food or anything like that. So, and the bottom line is, I recommend to eat, or I'll tell people, about 7 to 13 servings fruits and vegetables each day in order to maintain your good health. Just to maintain. If you want to restore your health or reverse something, then you got to eat even more.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I think even people in blue zone who live long, happy, healthy up to 100, even they take about 10% of their calorie from animal products. So I agree with you. I think not everybody needs to be vegan. Obviously, vegan is good for animal well-being, for environment, for earth. But I think if people eat 90% calories from whole food, plant-based, and 10% calories from healthy animal products, I think most people would do well. I agree with you. I think you don't have to. So I think in terms of whole food plant based, I've seen you making a lot of different smoothies, making a lot of different bin dish. So if somebody wants to start a whole food plant based lifestyle, how can they start in terms of like weaning off themselves from processed food and animal products? How can they start from tomorrow?
Well, it's a good question, very good question, and I would give you a very different answer. I think because, again, if somebody wants to start with the whole food, like I'll give you a little my background. What happened, that when I understood that how important that whole food and organic food is, I jumped on it completely. But my wife wasn't ready. Now there's a trouble. you know and I was trying to throw stuff, and now she was holding me to not to throw things, and I was. So yes, I mean, if somebody wants to completely go whole food, first of all, talk to your family. Number one thing, talk to your family, hands down. Don't go just because this is what I'm going to do it, because then you're going to have a problem. You post 90%, you're going to fail it. If the family support is not there, forget about it. So first, talk to your family. What are you planning to do? What are you trying to do, actually? And the second thing, the whole food, the best way to do it is learn the basic, how to eat, like chew more food, chew longer, anything. Start from there. Take your time. Sit on the whatever the place you sit. First, smell it, see your food, build a connection, relationship with the food, and then eat, and then enjoy and take your time. That's do much better, because even you eating, let's see, American Standard Diet, even you eating that kind of food, what's gonna happen if you take slow, if you take your time, you won't be full quickly. I mean, it will. I don't know. You will be full within that short period of time, or maybe like within 20 minutes, and you won't eat too much. Most people, they end up eating too much in a short period of time. That's why they keep hungry. They keep getting hungry, 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 hungry. So when you eat the whole food or any food, the first thing you start, like, pay attention, build a good relationship with the food, and eat slow, chew longer, at least 36 times. That's a recommendation, but I don't go the 36. Who has time for counting 36? So just chew enough until it turn into like a emulsify in your mouth, like at least it become like a minor smoothie in your mouth, and then you swallow it. And you'll see that that's the biggest one of the reason I actually end up losing weight, just by doing that. Second thing, don't eat after 6 p.m. So it doesn't matter, process or non-process or whatever it is, just try not to eat after 6 p.m. And that's automatically will change. These two things automatically trigger your brain to eat more wholesome food. It's just how it is. It's just miracle, but it does happen always.
Yeah,
So,
that yeah
so
that
you,
makes
So what I'm saying is like,
That's
so it doesn't mean like a smoothie. You could pick whatever the smoothie. There's so many recipes online. I mean, there's so many things you could do it, but anything you do something which is not norm to you is chances to you gonna fail because you're not accustomed to do that. You always convincing yourself that it is hard. It is, I don't want to, I cannot do that. I don't know this, whether I can. You always doubting yourself. You always have a fear. So these things always stop you to do forward. So always try to do something small winners, small winning. First talk to your family, then start eating a little longer than what you used to eat, then chew a little longer, spend time on there. Whatever the thing in your life, whatever the clutter you build up, like maybe letters or something, just declutter that. Have a little winnings. The more you little bit winnings, you'll start becoming more holistic automatically. And then you start paying attention to yourself. And once you start paying attention to yourself, you automatically will know what to eat and what not to eat.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I agree with you. I think chewing longer has been recommended. Eating, meal on a table instead of while watching TV and eating it mindlessly, and then eating, taking your time to eat, enjoying, savoring the meal, spending time with family, good conversation. Plus, we know now that it takes about 20 minutes for stomach signals to go to brain and satisfy that your stomach is full. So I think if you keep mindlessly eating, keep eating before your brain realizes that you are full actually. So I agree with you. Take your time to eat. And there's also a recommendation that eat about 80% stomach full. Don't stuff yourself so much food every day. I think if you follow those things, even if you are eating somewhat of a sad diet, SAD sad diet, you still will start losing weight. And obviously, like you said, as you make these changes, automatically you become more holistic and you start to prefer much more healthier food, which is whole food, plant-based, and minimum animal products. So I agree. I think that's a great suggestion that make a meal almost like a joy instead of just mindlessly eating in the car, from fast food or while watching TV or talking on the phone. I think a lot of people do that, and that obviously is the major reason for this obesity. So let's go to our
Yeah.
next pillar, which you actually have mastered very well. I've seen you a lot of videos on YouTube that exercise is very important. So how do you recommend your clients and followers to start exercising, how important exercise is, and what type of exercise everyone should do?
Yeah, this is interesting. I think this is the biggest question I've been ever everybody asked me always about exercise. So this is I say always like as a so so gym, like a lot of people like to go to gym. I understand that, and gym is a great place to people get motivated because they see other people doing exercise, so they want to do it. But at the same time, this is another place where the a lot of injuries happen, because most a lot of time, we don't know how to really use those machines or how to use these weights properly. So it's always recommend to, if when you start something, you always go with the trainer or something, learn something, learn the basics. But what I do it is I call joint mobility functional exercise. That's what I do. I'm more focused on my joints than anything else. Because if you look at the anatomy, I found that anatomy, this is my way to see, but that all the muscles, they're really designed to support your joints. That's what the whole mobility, it doesn't matter whether all the muscles, so your arms, top muscles, or arms muscles, or biceps or triceps, or doesn't matter. They're always supporting your elbow joint. Same thing the wrist, same thing, doesn't matter whether your back joints or whether it's your hip joint, whether your knees or anything. Every muscle, they're basically designed to give you mobility. What is mobility? It means the joint can move, function properly. So I'm more focused on my joint. So I do mostly joint based exercises. Give you some example. In the morning, going back, these things, shoulders, going backward. You can do arms, bring your hands up and down, you know um, elbow, you could move forward and roll back. So I do these kind of joint mobility exercises every day, which and I do about 10 to 20 times each action, and that's giving me a great exercise. So I'm just focused on that. And that I think anybody can do that. Any age person can do that. You have very less chances to give yourself injury because you're not lifting anything. You're not like jumping around anywhere. And the second thing, you could always incorporate after that a yoga, means asana, which I call asana. Not yoga is a broad term, so you can do asana, which is postures, yoga postures, and you can start from there. So this is what I recommend everybody, anybody, always start from there. That's a basic, and that can help you long term because you want eligibility as you grow older. You want more eligibility. You don't want stiffness, and most people they get stiff because they lose the mobility on the joints. That's what I learned. That's what I practice because I don't want, as I go old, I want to have this mobility because so I don't fall, I won't fall as I go old. So I still have that agility. I can still walk fast. I could still have those joint mobility and doing very good.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's an excellent point that I think we need to be moving our joints. We need to be flexible. We need to doing stretches. We need to do yoga, asanas, yoga postures. And those things are probably one of the most ignored type of physical activity when I see people exercising. When people exercise, either they are doing cardio or they are lifting weights, or they are doing abs, thinking that abs will lower their belly fat, but doing all those things. But many times they are not paying attention to mobility of the joints, stretches, yoga postures, and all those things, like you said, as we get older, is even more important. Those things are the one actually which improves our balance, which actually prevents many fall. And that's the reason I think this yoga and Tai Chi and all those type of physical activities becoming very popular. And I agree. I think I recommend all my patients and all followers and friends that do some cardio, do some light body weight lifting, just a body weight. And if you are into it, do some machine weight and some free weights. But for most people, I think body weight training like squats, push-ups, all those things are adequate. And I think if they add 15, like you said, 15 minutes of stretches or yoga or some kind of joint-based training, flexibility training, they will go very long time. Like I said, Blue Zone, they don't go to gym. They're physically active all day. They're moving all their joints. They're gardening. They're mowing their yard. They're walking to the grocery store. They're coming back with a big grocery bag, carrying in their hand and walking. So they're physically active throughout the day. So we don't have to go to gym, quote unquote, to be called physically active or exercising. So that
Yes,
brings our next
absolutely.
pillar. And that pillar is as important. And please tell us the role of sleep and how can a person improve sleep? Sleep is a major issue in America right now. Most Americans, 30–40% of Americans sleep only about 5 hours. So what is the importance of sleep and how can Americans improve the sleep?
So I think most people know the importance of sleep. I don't need to tell that. Everybody knows, but just add one thing that sleep is important because of recovery. You need to recover your day. Uh, Morning actions, they only recover at the night when you sleep. And another factor, you have a like we have a lymphatic system. We have a glymphatic system in the brain, and that only active when you sleep. So your brain remove all the toxins, all the garbage, whatever we collects through your cerebral fluid. It just passes at the nighttime. So that is important. So sleep is important, but the key factor for improving sleep is the food, holistic food, hands down, nothing else. And of course, movement, which is exercise. I would not say exercise, but daily motion, move. As walking is a great. Another thing, taking a warm bath at night, it improves tremendously your sleep. Um, but whole food, absolutely. If you eat holistic based, whatever the plant based diet, or I don't want to say plant based, but if you eat like a whole food diet, and if you watch your diet and you watch your how you eating your pattern, it just your sleep automatically will decrease. First of all, it's not going to increase. So it means like you're not going to sleep 8 hours or 7 hours. You actually, if you eat healthy food, the right food for the which living food, I call living food. That's the best word for me. So living food, if you eat the living food, you will sleep actually less, but you will be fulfilled, guaranteed. Like, um, so for me, right now, I'll tell you some. I'll tell you a little later. But if I most of the time when I eat the right food right way, even I sleep at 12 or 1, I wake up at 5 easily without ever feeling like drowsiness or without ever feeling that I'm exhausted. I generally sleep more than no more than 5 hours of sleep, 4 hours, 5 hours. That's enough for me. But lately, I've been sleeping 8 hours. Why? Because I was trying to gain weight. Why? I'll tell you, because 7 years ago I lost weight and I never documented. So actually, this during this Corona time, I thought like maybe I try gain some weight and do some documentary and have some records like how I lost weight and what I did and how I did the simple methods I did. So I did that. It was very challenging for me to gain weight because I'm mostly plant-based eater, so it was really tough to gain weight. And So what I did, I had to change my principles. So I had like a certain 15 principles which I follow, my principles, and I had to literally butcher them. I had to literally trash them, and then only I start gaining weight. Those principles, like how to eat, basically, and and what happened then? Suddenly my sleep increased. Like I was sleeping longer. I'm more tired. I'm more lethargic. I don't have motivation. I'm never feel like like light. I'm always heavy. I'm always thirsty. And this is what what I noticed, what I learned from this, that within 3 months period, what I just did, my 7 years of hard work was gone like that. Like, how amazing is that? Like, your 7 years of hard work can go in 3 months like that, just by practicing wrong habits. Just by practicing wrong habits, it's just gone. Like, so that was very interesting. I never thought this will happen, but it happened.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think sleep is something of a unique to every individual. Some people, like Bill Clinton, he sleeps 4 to 5 hours and he's fresh and he became the president. So, but at the same time, I think my general recommendation is to sleep 7 hours. I get 7 hours and I track it with my Fitbit. So I know I'm getting 7 hours. And whenever I sleep less than that, like last night I was on call and I slept only 5 hours and I think I can feel it during the daytime. So I think in general, I recommend 7 hours. And I agree with you. I think our food puts so much, things on the sleep. I think when we eat healthy, when we eat early meal in the evening, our sleep is better. Taking a warm bath at night, keeping your bedroom temperature low, exposing yourself to sunlight during the daytime, like you said, physically moving all day, and keeping some kind of a stress management, doing meditation. All those things definitely will improve the sleep. So uh, let's go to the next important pillar, which is substance abuse and alcohol. Obviously, that's a major issue in America. What is your feeling on if somebody wants to cut down on alcohol, cut down on any kind of substance, including smoking? How can the person start that?
So I know, like I worked very briefly with the people who actually like wine. Sometimes people, they like, I love my wine at night, or I personally don't drink that much. I mean, that much of it. Let me say that. So I drink very very occasionally, and but it's not like that I don't drink, but I drink mostly wine. Alcohol. The best thing what I found that I didn't get addictive is due to breathing exercise. I think something is power with the breathing exercise. It gives you more, make you more um, conscious, and also give you, um, how to say, like, I guess, confidence to like give up or not to get addicted. That's my experience. I never really work with anybody that alcohol substance, but yeah, alcohol, smoking, and these things are the biggest factor of any health problem. I mean, we know there are so many studies out there, um, but people in a lot of countries, that people drink wine and all stuff and they still live long. So I'm not saying the wine is the great thing. You don't have to have wine, but to be live healthy. I mean, it's not like European countries or like Japan and all, people drink wine. I really don't have much to say on that, to be honestly.
No, I think it makes sense that I think zero alcohol probably is the best policy. But if you have alcohol, once in a while, like once a month, twice a month, probably is not a bad deal. Like you said, a lot of blue zone people, a lot of people live long in Europe and many other countries in Japan. They have glass of wine many times, once or twice a week. So I think a small amount of alcohol probably is okay to live healthy and happy and long. But when we cross that line of drinking every night and heavy amount, that's when I think the health starts to suffer. So that brings to our next pillar, which I think partly applies to your five pillars you teach to your followers and your clients, is the stress management. Stress obviously is a major issue in everybody's life. I used to think it's an American thing, but I think it's happening all over the world. Everybody's getting stressed out, which does not have to happen. I think we have enough resources now as a person in the world. We have enough food, we have enough shelter, that generally we should not be getting stressed. So what is your recommendation if somebody says, I get stressed out every night, every evening? How can they manage stress?
Well, I so I learned over a period of time that because I used to start saying the same thing like everybody else, like, I'm very stressed, or this is stressing me out, or that's stressing. I think it's just like the mindset, how's your mind is, what you're feeding yourself, that's what it is really is. But when I really looked deep down and I found that actually stress is a fear. It's a fear. Fear is when we don't know, when we don't, when we cannot predict something, when we have no like predictability, that creates stress in human mostly. You don't see stress in animal in that perspective, the way we stress all the time. Their stress is different. That's a life and death matter. Well, our is like not really life and death. It's mostly like everything is stressing around. It's because of the fear of unknown factor, not knowing enough. That stress people out. People even stress out like, what is my purpose of living? What is a life purpose? People can, so if somebody wants to stress out, people can stress out anything. They can make out of anything, and they can pick anything and they can be stressed out. So it's bottom line, that means is not knowing enough yourself. The less you know about yourself, the more stressful you will be. The more you know about yourself, the more you declutter all the clutter in your life, and you have the clarity. And that clarity give you enough awareness, so you can handle how to react, like how to respond, not to react. When situation comes to you, so you can respond rather than react. But that only happens when when we actually know about ourselves. And that's what I learned over a period of time in my life, because I was stressful too, just like anybody else. I was complaining just like anything. And I said, like, where does stress coming from? It's always come from fear, and that fear always comes from not being unknown territory, which you don't know, because you react, you don't respond. So
Yeah.
so that's the stress management where I help people is through meditation. But meditation is a very loosely term. I don't help people like close your eyes and pay attention, whatever it is. That's not going to help you. First of all, meditation, you don't do meditation. Meditation happens to you. That's most of us. I learned from my guru, my mentor. Everybody need a mentor, to guide you, because they ask you the right questions. Because we are biased, and we always give ourselves what we want to hear. But someone who's third party, but really um, who already gone through that process, if gives ask you the right questions, that gives us opportunity to understand who we are really.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think stress, chronic stress has a major issue, but at the same time, like you said, I think if we know ourselves, if we can plan our life, if we become proactive instead of reactive, and probably take a one moment at a time, be very mindful, practice breathing exercise like you explained earlier, do some form of meditation. That means essentially, becoming very mindful. And like you said, we don't have to sit 20 minutes and do meditation, even though there are enough studies that people who sit down, close their eyes, and do some meditation has benefits. So I think stress management itself is a large subject. I actually recently read a book called Upside of Stress. And in that book, the author actually was trying to convince that some stress is actually good for our growth. And I call it a eustress. Obviously, distress is bad, but eustress actually keeps you on your toes, makes you more productive, actually makes you better, gives you better results. So all stress does not need to be eliminated. As long as we have the healthy stress, we have the use stress, like waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning when your young kid cries. That's not a distress. That's a use stress. That's a joy to go to the baby's room and pet the baby and put back to sleep. So those kind of stress are actually healthy stress. So that brings us to the next pillar, which is as important as all other pillars, is the relationship. So what do you think the role of relationship? Like you said earlier, if you want to start eating healthy, make sure your family knows, your family is on board with you. So when it comes down to living healthy, relationship with spouse, relationship with kids, relationship with friends is very important. So please tell us the role of relationship.
So the relationship, I can only tell what I do it, and that's what I just share my experience with the people I work with, the people around me, and my friends and everything. I just, if anytime this topic comes, and that's how I just share what I feel it. The one thing I do with my daughter and my wife is I I have a simple thing. Um, live and let live, I mean. Let the people explore themselves. Everybody has their own pace. That's one thing I think, whether husband, wife, or the parents and kids, they need to learn over a period of time. I hope I learned this, at least, or I'm trying to, and I'm still learning. Is like, give people space and give people also a room um, to to explore, rather than giving them what's right, what's wrong, rather than teaching them. Participate with them. I don't teach my daughter anything. I don't teach alphabets. I don't teach reading, writing, anything. I don't teach. I am very against teaching anything, because teaching never works. It's like a teacher who teaches whether student learning or not. Teachers always teaching in the class whether student learning or not, right? So I my method of me, what I understood is, I guess I discover is this, like, if I participate with her, whatever the action or activities she's doing, make it more interesting. That's it. That will help her to explore more. Then she will be more excited to know more about it. And that's the best way to learn, when you excited, because we all human being are creative. And the only way we learn, if we pay attention on something. And we only pay attention on something when we like something. And if we don't like something, we just disengage. We don't have any more engagement with that. So for me was like, create that engagement with her. So whatever she enjoying, if so, like example, like today, she was she I just taught her spelling, dog. So she's just excited to, like, she could spell. So she keep telling me dog. And then I gave her a new spelling, cat, but she wasn't interested. So I didn't force her, like, no, you got to learn, you got to sit, let's practice something. I don't do anything like that. Now, said after having said that, now the wife, like, relationship, again, relationship is, it's very interesting. I think I gone through pretty much all the cycle what every husband wife go through, which and I mean, I think I made a lot of mistakes. But the one thing, over a period of time, I learned is this: Listen more. Listen more. I think that's the key. Having a great relationship with anybody, listen. Don't speak to someone to across your point. That's not the point here. Relationship is about listening to solve other person problem, or just listen sometime because other person just want to cross something. And that's what I found. That's what I work with the professionals, because most professionals, they always listening, they never express. And whatever they're expressing professionally. There is no human touch in there. There's no there is no, I mean, there is human, they're expressing human, but it's only like business or whatever the materialistic perspective, but nobody asking a professional, like, so what makes you laugh, what makes you smile, what makes your day, what is something as a child when you were a kid you wanted to do it, how many things you were wanted to explore, what was your dream was. Nobody asked these questions. So ask these questions to anybody. I think that will open a conversation. And the more you open a conversation, the other person will talk to you and share maybe vulnerability with you, you know and that moment you will realize that what you made a difference in someone's life.
Yeah, I think I like your both points actually. The point about participating with your child instead of quote unquote teaching, because when you teach, actually, you don't even know whether the kid is getting or not. But when you participate, the kid becomes actually an adult, adult becomes a kid, and there's so much joy, and the learning is, I think, much more faster. Plus, like you said, just stop when the person or the kid loses the interest in learning and change the subject and participate in other activities. And I think those kind of teaching method always has worked better. I think our kids went through Montessori school, and I remember that they did not have the structured, 9 to 5 program. The kid was allowed to do whatever they wanted to do throughout the day. If they got bored reading a book, they can go out and play in the garden. If they got bored doing that, they can come and clean their dishes. I mean, they were behaving like mini adults in the Montessori school. So you are trying to do something similar at home. So that's very commendable. And I think when it comes down to, relationship with adults and spouse and friends, listening is so much more important. I think we definitely, all of us, can actually listen more and talk less. And if that's the case, there'll be a lot less misunderstanding. There'll be a lot deeper relationship, and there'll probably be a lot of unfortunate failures in relationship and divorce. I think many divorce happens because spouse, they don't listen to each other. I think if they just listen 10 minutes, a lot of the day's frustration may just go out. I think so everybody needs a good listening ears. I think when a day has gone very stressful, if somebody can listen to you intently, a lot of those stress gets actually diffused out and you feel better and the relationship gets stronger. I agree with you. So my next question to you is that I've always seen you, since you came to America, since you came to our town, a great professional dancer. And I watch you many times. All our Indians have watched you, all at your Michigan State University, all your American friends have watched you. So please tell us, how is your dance program going? And are you doing any kind of dancing right now or not?
Yes. I mean, I dance pretty much every day. Either I'm in the dancing in the kitchen or dancing with my daughter or dancing with my wife, but I'm dancing every day. That's the only program I have right now, dancing with the family.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I dance. I enjoy cooking, and when I cook, when I'm really excited because I always trying to make something new. So when I'm excited and making something new dish, I'm always dancing, enjoying, enjoy. I mean, that's one thing. Food wise, like for me, it's like the what I learned is over a period of time is see, we don't need that many clothes, we don't need that many shelter, like one house is good enough to live, right? We don't need that many cars, you know but food is something you need 3 times a day. So you gotta have a great relationship with the food. And if you cook something with stress or with negativity or feels, you know, com- are complaining while you're cooking, What kind of food you gonna make? So be happy. That's what I do it. So I'll try to be happy. I'm very happy, and I dance. I give a lot of love to my food before, and then I eat with a lot of love.
No, that's an
I
important.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I never see. I grew up, and my wife grew up in a household where we never went to the kitchen. You know how Indian parents are anyway. But I mean, plus we were raised like we had mates and also, so we never cooked. So when we start cooking, it was a hassle. It was a big thing. It's like, oh my God, how to cook? We're pulling our hairs, you know. And and when my wife cooked one time, and she asked me like, "How's my food?" Now I have nothing else to say but say, "Good, excellent."
Mhm.
you know. And when I cooked this, she just said the same thing, "Good," two thumbs up. But we know that our food wasn't great.
Yeah.
So I'm not very typical Indian cooking, but I cook everything, every region and every continent food. I mix match and I make it my way. But I that's what I do. And
Wow,
I never repeat the food same. Yeah.
that's very impressive. I think your advice of dancing in the kitchen probably many of our followers and listeners will take it hard. My wife, actually, Jayshree, Jayshree, she
Yes.
actually is also big on dancing and cooking, and she's always very happy and moving and doing all different kind of physical movements. And so I think I agree with you. Plus, I think, like you said, the love while you cook is so important. I think you absolutely have to enjoy and love the dish you make. Otherwise, the dish is not going to come out good. And I think praising your partner's dish whenever they make and enjoying and savoring and discussing and talking and learning cooking is so important. And I agree. I did not grow up learning cooking. So I think it was hard for me. But I make some small things, and I think it's always a learning process. And I agree. I think like our son pretty much cooks every day. So I think newer generation we have realized that I think cooking is a fun, cooking is a joy, and all men should be cooking equally as much as women. So I think the newer
Absolutely.
generation, big kudos to them. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if you don't know how to cook, you can't be healthy, period.
yeah, I think that's a great piece of advice. Actually, so many people, and one very bright person said that cooking, Dr. Michael Greger, cooking is a basic life living skills. If you don't know cooking, you're not going to live healthy. If somebody's going to prepare the food for you, you're never going to be healthy. If you know what goes in the food, including salt, including oil, including any kind of processed items, including whatever you put in, unless you know what went in the food, you will never be healthy. So you have to know how the food is made, how the food is prepared to eat healthy food. So that
Yes.
brings my next question. Out of all your clients and all your followers, and there are thousands of them now, please give us, obviously, without giving any names or anything, one of the great success stories so our followers know that what kind of a success one can achieve if they have a good health coach.
Well, success is interesting. So success depends on what type of goal you have in your mind. So everybody has a different goals and different mindset. They come with something. And so success is, for me, it's like, if somebody comes with, wants to go point A to point B, but he's able to not just become B, reach to the B, but is also able to help other at the same time. For me, that's success. For them, it's achievement. So I see every time, if any. So I have a great. I mean, I work with um, one mother who helped her entire family. So that's the biggest success to me, that I become to coach to that person, and she become to coach to her husband, you know, and the kids. So that's and yeah, people lose weight. Losing weight is always important for everybody who actually wants to be healthy, because it gives you some sort of confidence, but it's not a well-being, but confidence is great. So losing weight is always, I think pretty much everybody lose weight in whoever works with me, even though they don't come for losing, they don't have a plan to lose weight. They have other issues, like, a lot of people, they have I literally work with the people who has actually trying to develop a good relationship with with the loved ones mostly, and themselves. So I mostly I'm more working towards that. but they always have underlying health issues, so which I work, and which also goes away over a period of time.
So you actually told us, explained us about the 5 pillars or 5 things you cover when you
Yeah.
help your clients. Please tell us those 5 one more time, and please describe what's the role of each one of them in everybody's life.
So, I mean, it's called 5 areas of life. So one is a relationship, money, career, health, and spirituality. These are the 5 areas everybody has a problem. They call problem. I call opportunity. But most of, well, I grew up learning called problems. People either have a money problem, either people have a relationship problem, people always have a career problem, people always have a health problem, and a lot of people, they have a spirituality problem, or a religious problem, whatever the thing is. So I try to help these people to understand, um, the how to build a great relationship with them, rather than trying to fix them. Try to see, if you try to fix something, that you're always looking for what's right and what's wrong, because that's how we think. I want to fix this, so what's wrong? I want to eliminate the wrong part, and so we can focus on the good. So there's no such thing good and right, good or bad. So the way I help is by understanding what is emotions are, because every single thing is emotional connected, whether relationship, money, career, health, or spirituality. So focusing on what is emotions are. So looking all the 5 emotions and giving them the right definition to help them to understand what is truly the emotions are, and what is the role of emotion is. So I'll give you an example, and I give you the in pretty much the sum up. So what I discover, that's only one emotion is designed to work for you. The rest, all emotion is designed to work for others. So would you like to guess which one is to work for you?
Now, please tell us.
Okay, so it's happiness, joy. It's the only one who designed to work for you. The rest is all designed for work others. So let's give you an example, like anger. So if you decide to anger, like take the anger and you use it to for yourself, it's gonna burn you internally, outwardly, everywhere. But if you raise the anger for injustice for someone, see, you feel confident. You get confident, you become strong, you want to fight for someone. That's what the anger is. Anger is designed to work for others, not for you. That emotion is designed to work for someone else, but not towards you. And you can pick anything, even sadness. So don't be sad for yourself, but sad for other, that maybe like like maybe they have injustice, or give them, instead of sympathy, give them empathy. you know so all those emotions, so that's what I work, and I break down those emotions into my program and weekly basis, and I help them and give them a work, and help them to connect, to reconnect themselves, kind of like a rewire them and then wire them themselves back, asking them the right questions, so they can having a better clarity that really what is missing, what they've been trying to achieve, but why, what was the stopping them to becoming the person.
Yeah. No, I think I like those 5 areas. I think if people handle those 5 areas, they will be very successful, very happy, very healthy. And I think our page actually started with 6 pillars of healthy lifestyle, including exercise and eating and sleep and substance abuse and other things. But now we have expanded. People can read actually all the areas on the background of my page that we have actually expanded into parenting, expanded into animal well-being, veterans well-being, women empowerment. All those pillars are very important to be a successful person, successful community, successful society, and even for the success of the world. We need to take care of us as a whole, not just our health, but our complete well-being. So that's very
Yeah,
important.
I can read them, and there are great points. There are great points, and all of them, what I see is just in that, like, if everybody learn how to pay attention, they can achieve and successfully they can achieve every single thing. It's learning how to pay attention is the key.
Yeah, that
That's
makes sense.
yeah.
That's good. No, I think we had already a great hour. We are bringing you
That's
back again and again. So wish you the best. If people want to reach out to you for your services, how can they reach out to you?
So I'll share with you. Have my email. You can post on your email. That's the way I actually do it.
Okay.
And or direct referral. Like if you refer me or someone else, like watch this, and they can call me 517-944-1944. Sorry, 517-944-1900. Call me, text me that you watched me here and want to connect with me, and I'll help them. I'll give them a breakthrough session to discover what's stopping them to achieving the life they want, what truly stopping them, clear that, give them that clarity. So hopefully that's all enough. That's all you need. And I won't charge you. Hey, that's what I can do.
Yeah, no, that's so nice of you. I think we're going to put your email address and your phone number on our page. And I think people who want to reach out to you, and like I always say, we are all in together. We are like friends. We are like family. I think to me, doing a lot of this projects and mission gives me so much joy for myself that I want to keep doing it more. And I can see that you have a similar kind of life philosophy. I know your parents, they have a similar philosophy. So I think we are very proud of you, Dr. Bhardwaj, and we actually value what you do for our society and so many thousands of people you have helped. So wish you the best, and we'll bring you again. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Shah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll just want to add one more thing. I think I'm planning to open a page on Facebook, and I'll gonna do some lose my weight and kind of like help people. That's no charge for a thing. If they want to add me, I'll notify you. You could do that.
Yes,
Um,
yeah, I think we will definitely have a lot of our followers become part of that group too. So that's
yes, yes,
great. Okay,
absolutely.
very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
take care. Bye bye.
Bye.